Good evening, and welcome to Good Talks. This is Gil.
This is Lou.
And actually, you know what? I should have said it the opposite. I should have said it backwards, right?
No, because every time you mess it up, and I don't know, it just kind of throws off.
This is Gil, and you're listening to Good Talks. I mean, I don't know. We'll think about it. We'll possibly switch it up. Either way.
No.
No? Okay, fine.
My vote is no.
All right, well, it's 50-50 right now, which means that
we're going to open up the polls.
We need a tiebreaker for this one. Either we say our names first or last. I don't know. Either way.
Oh, we mean first or last?
Like, this is Gil, and you're listening to Good Talks, or this is Good Talks, and this is Gil. Hello. Oh, somebody's sick. Let me put my mask on. Just saying.
Funny.
Either way, for all of you three who are listening.
Oh, I saw two.
Thanks for tuning in. Because today, or tonight rather, is it night? Jesus, it's 7:00. Feels like it's
like midnight.
Man, I guess we're going to be covering a story that we saw recently, right? It's like the biggest thing, with Harry Styles, formerly of One Direction.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a magazine. There's a magazine called the Vogue, whatever. If you haven't heard it, that's crazy. You're living under a rock.
I was going to say it's been around forever.
So, So Vogue magazine put out this story, the spread, and guess who was on the cover?
Harry Styles.
Harry Styles, man. Now, when I first saw it, it was like, oh, okay. No problem. It's Harry Styles. And then that was it for me. That's all it was for me, to be honest with you. What about you?
Well, first of all.
Okay.
First of all, I heard about this, I think on the news or something, or Good Morning America or something. That's what I listened to during the day.
GMA?
Yeah. And they said it was monumental because Vogue's been around for about 127 years.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah. And this is the first time that they've had a guy solo on the cover. So they've had other guys on the cover, but normally with a woman. Right. So like Justin Bieber was on there with his wife, or I forgot who the other one was that was on there. But anyway, it was a big thing because he was solo. But not only because he's solo.
He's the 10th one, actually, the 10th guy on there, but the first solo.
Yes. So obviously the big story around this is not only because he's the first guy that's solo, it's because of his attire. Which is kind of funny that's the biggest draw about this whole thing.
I mean,
what he's wearing. And it's as simple as the fact that it's a dress.
I mean,
I don't even know what brand it is. They actually never even mentioned it. I don't remember even reading anywhere that said what brand, what name brand it is.
Who designed it?
Yeah.
I thought it was that guy you said. Didn't you say it was that?
No. That was something different. Mm-mm.
Oh, that was Billy Parker. That's right.
Billy Porter.
There you go. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Uh-huh. So, yeah. No, that wasn't that. So, I don't even know who designed this dress. So, it's like nobody's talking about the dress itself. It's just the fact that he's wearing a dress. It's kind of crazy now, in this day and age.
Well, for those of you who will be listening to this on the podcast apps like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitch, iHeartRadio, we're live.
We'll give you permission to pause it.
Yeah, we're live. We're live on YouTube, and if you haven't registered, seen our page, our YouTube profile, be sure to do that because when we put out the videos or the images, you won't be able to see it. But again, everything that we put on YouTube goes straight to our podcast. So unfortunately, if you're listening to us, in the podcast, you won't be able to see the images. So definitely do check us out. Go to our Instagram page, actually. So it's at goodtalks_NYC, and you'll get a profile link to our YouTube page. So that way you can join us live on Sundays. But either way, if you haven't seen the images, the pictures of Harry Styles rocking the dresses. There you go. Look, take a look. YouTube. For those of you who are with us live and those who will watch us later, these are it's a few of them, a few of the images of him wearing a dress. And I thought to myself, okay.
Okay, now I know who I just.
Oh, you Googled?
In the meantime.
You searched
Yes,
that?
I searched it.
Okay.
So it's actually a Gucci gown.
It's a Gucci gown. All right.
Yes.
The gray one?
Huh?
The gray one?
Yes, the one on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually, because, obviously that's the brand.
Right.
But the actual designer of the dress, his name is Harris Reed. And he's actually a gender fluid designer.
Gender fluid.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess, I guess for him, this is not technically a woman's dress.
Right.
Which is pretty cool.
I don't know. I mean, it was like, okay, like I didn't understand why he was wearing the dress, to be honest with you. It was just like, okay, not a big deal. He's wearing a dress. Mm-hmm. And then that was pretty much it. Other than that, I didn't really care too much, about it, to be honest with you. I just thought, okay. And then, I saw the one where he's wearing a kilt. Mm-hmm. And that's normal for me.
We went to Scotland. That is very normal.
It's like super normal.
And hello, I watch Outlander. Hello.
Outlander. That's a good. I mean, I don't really care about the show, but I care more about whatchamacallit, William Wallace.
Mm-hmm. He wore a kilt.
Talk about a manly man. That shoot, man. That mofo wore a kilt and sliced dudes in half. Like, if that's not a man, like, and I didn't even think about that, to be honest with you.
Oh, it didn't even register?
Yeah. Yeah, I like, honestly didn't, I didn't think about it. But yeah, I mean, again, for me, I thought to myself, okay, nice dresses. Saw the kilt. I don't know about this other one with the red hoodie thingy. It just
looks like a jacket.
Yeah, it's more of a design, issue for me, like fashion thing for me. It wasn't like I looked at him and went, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe he's wearing a dress. This man is wearing a dress. This is unbelievable, No, I thought to myself, I don't really like the ruffles. I think they could have done with a different color or something like that.
I think he looks really good, honestly.
And again, it was just me looking at the clothes rather than, thinking about the man wearing a dress. So I don't know. I mean, again, feel free to drop us a comment, if you're listening, now or later. We'd like to get as much, feedback as we possibly can, for this, because this is a really big issue. It goes beyond just, a man wearing a dress.
Well, it seems that let's backtrack a little. So, Harry Styles in general, his style has always been, to me, and I know your opinion is gonna differ, but to me, he reminded me of like Prince. They used to make a big shit out of Prince wearing heels,
right,
or really tight clothing, and that kind of stuff. Mind you, I think. Oh, and the assless, wasn't it like the ass out?
Oh, the assless pants.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They made like a big thing out of that.
I'd rock that.
So, so it's not like this is like it's not like this is like never happened before, but right. I guess this is very mainstream and not in the music sense. Like it's a fashion magazine, and it's not like a music magazine.
Look at the other male entertainers out there who've rocked dresses. I mean, you had Kurt Cobain. I mean, come on. Vin Diesel, Iggy Pop. Like, are you serious? Like, these dudes are rocking dresses. Vin Diesel's rocking a kilt. I mean, you want to talk about a manly man? If you were to walk, in an alleyway at nighttime and you see Vin Diesel, regardless of whether he's, I guess even when he's wearing a kilt, are you gonna, you're gonna think he's just this little lollipop? No, not at all. But these are like entertainers rocking, dresses. So I'm just thinking to myself, okay, going back to Harry Styles. Listen, this guy is wearing, outfits that I was actually looking at. And mind you, when we went to Scotland, I thought about buying a kilt.
Yep. And I was fine with it. It wasn't like I was like, oh no, don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is a tradition, right? This is something traditional. But at the same time, are we trying to make wearing a dress for men traditional? Or is this something, that is just for shits and giggles? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, okay, so I guess going back in time. Mm-hmm. When we were growing up, I think we were like the generation that was very black and white. And now the next, the youngins, they don't have, or at least, I don't know, their sense about what's feminine or what's masculine or whatever is blurred, which is okay. Things evolve and they change over time. So I think that it shouldn't be an issue. It's I guess there's always going to be an issue with certain people. There's no such thing as everyone accepts everything as it is and everything is peaches and cream. No. You're going to always have people that have problems. It just seems like this particular thing, this particular picture, it just drew out a lot of people from the right. Both
sides. Are you going to say the right, the conservatives?
No, I don't even want to say it that way. I don't even want to make it about politics. It's more about the people who are okay with it or embrace it, and then you have the people that are like against it. But it's funny because the people that are against it are a lot of the same people who tout freedom of speech. Okay, right. If you have freedom of speech, then this is a form of freedom of speech. So,
that's a good point.
So how can you be against it? It's very hypocritical. So that's, I guess, my only issue with it. The people that have a problem with it, to each his own. Like, I don't have an issue with it. Obviously, he doesn't have an issue with it. So,
I mean, he's getting paid. Yeah. He's getting paid regardless. It doesn't even matter.
Exactly.
I mean,
listen, we all know that this is also a thing to kind of get attention. Not to say that because like I said, this particular artist dresses like this anyway.
Right, he does. I've seen some of his performances.
He's very gender fluid, so it's not like too much of a surprise for him. I think the fact that he's on a women's magazine that's a international publication, that's what kind of drew attention to it.
I'm looking at the comments right now. You have Sierra Santiago saying it's a fashion statement showing not only could chicks wear dresses but also guys. Yeah, and Linda De Leon says Kill would never. I guess he would never wear a dress.
Yeah.
You'd have to ask Kill, whoever that is. Yeah. You'd have to ask him why. Well, we'd want to know why. Like, what is it that would stop him from wearing a dress, if anything? Has he ever worn a dress for Halloween? It's another, something else.
Has he ever dressed up as a chick?
Sierra Santiago says Harry Styles was like this, very gender fluid, even during the 1D days. And then you have, what is that, Tanya 79C? What is that, shaking hands? What is,
I think she's saying hi.
Slapping us?
No, I think that's a hi. It's like a wave.
You have Ubel Cabrera. But these are entertainers, not the same. What they don't see is that kids don't know the difference between entertainment and fashion. It's a good one. Kids see the magazines and they see Harry Styles. They see the posters or whatever on bus stops, and they're like, "I guess it's okay to wear a dress, right?" Mm-hmm. Tanya says people are gonna talk regardless. It's true. Pants, skirts, no matter what. To each his own. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, so you see this. You see Harry Styles, and I guess Harry is. Going back to the Kurt Cobain, the Iggy Pop, the Vin Diesel rocking a kilt, you would never think that it's a kilt because it's all black. It's like black leather. I mean, it's not the, what do you call that, pattern?
Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
What do you call that?
New comment. Linda got Kill's feedback. And he said he's part Irish, so he actually doesn't agree with her. He would actually rock a kilt. Kill with a kilt. That's what we want to see.
That's pretty cool. I mean, you're gonna have to. He's gonna have to go to Scotland. He's gonna have to go to Scotland so we can see him in a kilt.
We have to bring him with us when we go in the summer.
Take him to Scotland, huh? Scotland Yard.
That's a different Scotland.
Yeah, that is true. My fault. I apologize. But yeah, so you have Vin Diesel. He's rocking the leather kilt. It doesn't look like a kilt though because it doesn't have that pattern.
Honestly, from this angle, it just looks like a black frilly, skirt.
Right, and he's the boots. You got to wear the combat boots and the socks. You know what I mean?
I guess he doesn't have hair on his legs as much either.
So yeah, not that I'm looking at it, that deep.
They're
but yeah,
just there.
So then you have these guys, right? And then you compare them to Billy Porter, yeah. And he rocked this at the Academy Awards. Now I must say, I looked at this and I'm like, whoa, all right,
that was definitely a statement,
dude. This right here is just ridiculous. The tuxedo, the dress, and like I told you earlier, I'm gonna call it the Drux.
The Drux.
You heard it here first, Drux.
You got to patent that name.
I do have to patent it. It was 7:17 p.m. Eastern Time, New York City, November 22nd, 2020. That's when I said it. You heard it here first, the Drux. So he rocked his Drux pretty nasty, man. Like he looked good in it. I'm not gonna lie, like he looked good in it. It fit him. Mm-hmm. You can't see a big dude, 230 pounds wearing this. Mm-mm. It's not going to look right. This is more of a smaller frame type of dress.
Yeah, but I think he also has the swag and the attitude for it. Like I don't know, just based on some of the other pictures I've saw of him, he has that I don't know, that smoothness.
I guess he does. There was a good shot. There was a good shot of him. But the tuxedo dresses was incredible. Like I thought it was a great design. You know what I mean? Would I rock it? I'm the kind of person who would probably do something like this on purpose. You know what I mean? Like I would do it on purpose. It's not because I feel good in it or something like that. Who knows? I've never done anything like this before. I mean, the last time I did that was when was it? It was high school, right? I have a student who is gay, and it was...
Wasn't it Halloween?
No, it wasn't Halloween. It was gender switch day or something like that for the seniors. So, like, the girls would dress like boys, and the boys would dress like girls, I guess, the socially normal way. And he didn't want to do it. He didn't want to dress up. He didn't want to, wear a dress or anything like that. So, I was like, I'll do it. I'll dress up with you and we'll go around. And I had no problem with it. I knew I was going to get stares. I knew people were going to laugh. I knew people were going to be like, what the hell? Like, I knew that was going to happen. I didn't go full, smooth skin. No, I kept my hair on my legs. I kept my beard. I put on the makeup, put on a wig, put on a dress.
Yeah, you used my blonde candy wig.
Yeah, I mean, so like, I'm the kind of person that would do things on purpose and not really care. Now, does that mean I am not a manly man? No. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm a man, but at the same time, I'm kind of sensitive. Yeah, I'm a sensitive man. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand that. Let me see I'm looking at the comments now. I said, you bell. I feel there is a limit to what I guess the media demonstrates and to advertise. Technology is very easy to, accessing is not letting the parents teach their kids about what is going on in the world. It's up to the parents too, man. That's the other thing. I was going to
say, it's parental control over your kids. And again, I know, I understand that it is difficult, especially now, even more so than when our kids were littler, because technology makes everything so accessible. But that's what conversations are for. Like, you have to keep talking to them. Unfortunately, they see it all over the place.
Right. So, okay, Sierra goes on. Billy Porter. Okay, I didn't know he was in Kinky Boots, to be honest with you. I knew the show, but I only knew of Wayne Brady.
There was a few people that played that role.
And man, did he slay his performance while wearing the dress and shoes. Listen, if it works, it works. Ubel asks, so freedom of speech is only allowed when it's only agreeable with what is considered correct. I mean, to many people, yeah. To people who, care about their freedom and are not looking to control everything, no. He goes on to say, freedom of speech is also allowed when you disagree with, driving. Oh, he's driving. Is there...
no texting and driving. These better be voice
is everywhere
things.
It can't control when it comes to this. Well, here's the thing, man. So we go, I guess the only reason I knew about this, to be honest with you, is because of Candace Owen. Mind you, I really don't want to talk about Candace Owen. Not to say that she is 100% wrong in everything that she says, because I don't believe that she's 100% wrong in everything that she says, like her views. I do agree with her on some things, but I don't agree with her on a lot of things. And I think for the most part, I feel like conservative people on TV, they just want the attention. I think they just want the attention.
So you think they kind of exaggerate?
Yeah, I think I really do believe that they, just run off at the mouth because they want people to follow them. They want people to, continue to watch their shows, listen to them, or whatever the case may be. I don't really like, what do you call those shows, like Hannity and that dude, the black dude on CNN. I forgot his name. He goes after Cuomo.
Don Lemon?
Lemon. Yeah, well, I don't like those kind of shows.
Well, again, those are commentary ones. They're not just news shows.
They're opinion based shows, right? Mm-hmm. I don't really like those shows because, again, a lot of people flock to them and they listen to them and they start to believe everything that they say because, again, you repeat stuff, you keep repeating it, it becomes true at some point. But that's, it's pretty much it. Let me see. I'm reading this right now. The comments. Ubel says there's posters in the city of two guys sexually kissing and grabbing each other just to advertise a dating app. I don't even see that with a female and male. Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it with a female and male. You can show it to us. You can post it or whatever. Send it to us. But yeah, I've seen plenty of ads with just dudes showing their nuts, in underwear, chicks scantily clad.
Well, hello, it's called Victoria's Secret catalog and Calvin Klein underwear.
I've seen all of that. But the reality is, man, it's the times are changing, and I think that's one of the issues. So Candace goes on and she tweets this: there is no society that can survive without strong men. The East knows this. In the West, the steady feminization of our men at the same time that Marxism is being taught to our children is not a coincidence. It is an outright attack. Bring back manly men. And this is a response to Vogue magazine's Twitter post, which said, there's so much joy to be had in playing with clothes. I've never thought too much about what it means. It just becomes this extended part of creating something. So that was her response to that Vogue magazine post on Twitter. And it was like the biggest thing, man. It was huge. It's like, what? How could she say this? But I asked you this before. I asked you the question on whether or not... Well,
I think number one, let's go really quickly to her comment there.
Mm-hmm.
Just because he's wearing a dress doesn't mean that he's not manly.
Right.
He's not, and I mean, for the most part, I don't know if he's bisexual, but for the most part, he's straight. So
I think from an interview that he had, he didn't really say whether he was gay or straight.
Well, he's dated girls. How about that?
Yeah, he said
he's dated Taylor Swift. I know. I remember that.
Well, I've seen the woman that he's dated, his exes.
Yeah.
And it's just like every single name comes with the word model after that, or model and then the name.
Yeah.
So I mean, there goes that one.
So he He obviously gets chicks too. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's again an assumption that if he wears a dress, that he's not masculine or he's not manly. But again, going back to your original comment about Scotland or in Scottish kilts. So you're telling me that the Scottish men are not manly? Yeah, okay.
Well,
because that's bull.
Kilts are not like dresses. Like, it's not like this. It's not like he's wearing, these dresses. It's not like that. It's a kilt. It's like, I don't think
So is a kilt like a pass?
I think so. I think it is. I think a kilt is a pass. You're definitely not going to be shitted on if you're wearing a kilt in Scotland.
Oh, obviously.
England. You're not gonna get shitted on if you're wearing that over there. People will look over here and go, "What the hell?" But if you're not familiar with it, then you're gonna, it's gonna catch you by surprise and like, "What the?" But most people would be like, "Oh, it's a kilt."
So okay, so it goes back to my next question is, Jonathan from Queer Eye.
Yeah,
he wears dresses and heels and the whole nine. So I don't remember seeing much about anybody saying anything about that.
Well, here's the question.
But again, is that because he's gay?
Yeah, that was the question. Is it because a person is, is it because Harry Styles is not gay, and then him wearing a dress is like this big thing and
it's like so taboo?
Yeah, I don't know. But going back to Candace's tweet, I mean, she did a retweet, right? I don't think she really apologized for it. But I think that she feels the idea of what a man is shifting. And I think that I know that she doesn't like it. She doesn't like the shift. And a lot of people do not like the shift.
Okay, so then they don't have to choose a person who's shifting.
Right. I mean, again,
that's it. I mean, it's kind of simple to me.
Again, yeah. It's a simple thing. If you are, and this would go into politics, right? A progressive, a liberal, right? You'd be like, I don't give a shit. To each his own.
Exactly.
Like Tanya said. So that would be the normal reaction for people who just want to live their lives. But a lot of conservatives, and again, I know you said you didn't want to, make this a political thing, but it just seems like that is the way things are, leaning when it comes to Candace, because she is a conservative. Mm-hmm. And she said a lot of things that were just, crazy. Of course, you want to bring that attention to yourself. So, when she's made statements, it's like, what? And this one was basically the same. But at the same time, I think, when you think about it, back in the days, before like the, what do you call it? Before the 70s, right? Before that, it was the Marlboro Man. You know what I mean? That was
I'm sorry, I remember. I laughed because of the cigarettes. But go ahead.
That's the man. The man is the one that is wearing that cigarette,
cowboy hat.
Wearing a cowboy hat and smoking a cigarette, and that's a manly man. The man is out there working hard. He's this big boy. He's gonna fight for you. He's gonna do everything that he can. He's gonna take care of you. He's gonna slay the dragon and bring you home the meat. That's basically a man. A manly man. It's kind of like this guy right here, right? What makes a man?
I still think he looks like Batista.
I mean, he's huge. He has a spear. Looking at a picture right now. He has a spear. He has a shield. All of his tools to slice you up. Kill the bear, bring home the meat. To mama and the kids, and it's just like, I think for the most part, a lot of conservatives are missing that. I mean, we saw a thing with this guy. Was it Jordan Klepper, right? Is it Klepper or Clapper?
Klepper.
Where he was interviewing, and a woman had said to him, that there shouldn't be a woman president because the woman, the men should be the president, not a woman. Because the woman...
And she was a woman.
And she was a woman. And I'm thinking to myself, what's going on here? Like, do you not care about, woman and and women being independent and strong. Like, do you not care about that? Like, you'd rather have men just dominate politics and everything else and control and rule the world? Have you not seen what has happened over the lifetime? It's crazy. So, I don't know. I think that she is, Candace that is she's missing that idea of what a man should be like. And she's worried that, there's too much of a shift happening where we're not going to have those guys anymore. We're going to have, men who are wearing dresses and okay with it. It's like, the parents are letting their, the boys wear dresses at 5 years old. So what happens when they get older is the question. That was to you.
Oh, well, I thought it was like a rhetorical question.
Stay with me.
No. I thought it was like a rhetorical question. And in my head, obviously when you're raising kids, you want to, you have in your head what you want them to do, what you want them to be, how you want them to be. And sometimes they're not, honestly. And again, I think our generation, we were kind of pushed into holes. Like, we were pushed into the ideals of our parents. But then our kids started to kind of get away from that, meaning they didn't want to be in that hole. If that's not where they wanted to be at, they will choose another one. And that's the way society is evolving. Do I necessarily agree with it for myself? I don't know. I don't choose it for myself. But do I crap on my kid if he decided to? No, because no matter what, he's my kid and I love him. So I guess it goes to the same premise. So if Candace, since that's the quote we were talking about, if she has a boy, because she doesn't have any children, so she has a boy and he wants to wear a dress, what is she going to do? Disown him? Like, sometimes things don't work out how you think of it initially.
Well, I think she would change him. I think she'll have a conversation with him and saying, no. You're a boy. What? Boys are supposed to wear pants and shirts, not dresses.
And then what happens? At least from all the TV stuff that I've ever seen, it damages the kids. And those are the ones that are repressed, and when they get older and they have a lot of emotional problems and blah, blah, blah.
Because they weren't allowed to wear a dress?
Well, because they were not allowed to be themselves. They were not allowed to be who they wanted to be.
Right.
Dress aside or whatever, or a girl who was more tomboyish. I was a tomboy when I was young. Now
I saw the pictures.
I know. But that was, for me, it wasn't because I wanted to be a boy. It was just because that was what I was comfortable wearing. And at that time, I wasn't really into the, and it was like fashion. It was more fashion than anything else. So I think that people go through phases. And, he's, 30 or not even?
Right.
I think Harry Styles is not even 30 years old. That might be his phase now. And then who knows what happens in the next 10 years.
It was weird because I was watching an old, what do you call that, man? That show that he was on, Britain's Got Talent or whatever it was, and he was doing his audition. The kid could sing, like he had a good voice, even by himself, and he looked so like boyish, Now he's coming into his own and he's choosing what he wants to do with himself. And I think that's one of the biggest issues that I have. I get it. It's totally fine for people like Candace to say, things are shifting. Be concerned about it, sure. Where's the manly men or whatever? Where are my manly men or whatever the case may be? But the reality is, man, just because you're wearing a dress doesn't mean that you're not a man.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. She doesn't know him.
Just because you're painting your nails doesn't mean that you're not a man. We're so programmed to be, a certain way based on how we grew up, from family to, the media, right? Mm-hmm. And it's even worse now with the media. It's even worse. So, now we have access to so many things. Kids have access to so many things, so many outlets that they're going to see so many things, thrown at them in their face. And you're gonna grow up in a world and society where it's okay to be whatever you want to be. Now,
and as a parent, it's harder to control it. I understand that. Listen,
well, for the most part, it is.
And I don't feel bad about the fact of having my kid 20 something years ago before all of this technology stuff was around.
Right.
You know, it's a lot different now than it was back then. You could control things more as a parent, and it's harder to do it now. And I get that. Most things
are easily acceptable. Most things are acceptable these days than it was years ago. Years ago, it was a different story. Like if you were to wear a dress or something like that, you get ridiculed.
Better be Halloween.
Yeah, something like that. But now it's like, oh, okay, for a lot. And I think a lot of people wanted to go back to where it was, okay to beat up on a gay person. It was okay to laugh at a gay person for wearing a dress or whatever it is that they were doing. Like, I think that they want to go back to those days because it was something that they were, they remember or they were okay with. But now you have it where, this day and age, it's acceptable. And I think a lot of people miss those times when it wasn't, because it was easier for them to do stupid shit.
Yeah, it's the same thing about people that are prejudiced. That they wish it could go back to the days where they can, where it wasn't so taboo. Right now, obviously, within the last 4 years, it's not taboo anymore to be outright,
right?
Discriminatory. But, 4 years before, it was taboo. So it just, I don't understand it sometimes. It's always it seems like there's so much negativity. Like something like this, which is as innocent as a cover of a magazine, and I say innocent in the fact that they're not actually saying anything, it's just a picture, turns into a debate, a heated debate in some aspects, where it brings out all of these other things about traditional roles. And again, we're focusing on the male role, but it goes back to also females. How many times because I'm the one that likes to watch entertainment news and shit. So how many times I've seen women, being criticized or not seen the same way if they go to like the Oscars or the Emmys or one of these award shows and they're wearing a pantsuit instead of a dress, instead of a ball gown. It's like, so, it's so unheard of. Nowadays, it's gotten better where it's done more often, that it's accepted easier. But go back about 10 years ago, it was like the worst thing ever. So I just think that it's some of these things that are not that important, turn into something that becomes such a heated debate. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because it brings out the people who have something negative to say about it.
A lot of people.
Like, what was that saying your parents said? If you don't have nothing good to say, don't say anything at all.
Yeah.
That shit went out the window.
Well, the reason why it has gone out the window is because of, media now, right? Social media and stuff like that. Now people are eagerly out there saying whatever they feel because it's bringing them notoriety. So you have a lot of people who are saying a lot of nonsense, a lot of hateful things, homophobic things, and they know that there's going to be a lot of people listening to them, and they love that. So that's why they do what they do. So nowadays, it's easier. It's easier to do that now. Back in the days, like, who do we have? Howard Stern, who was causing controversy. That's who we had. We had Howard Stern back in the days, and he's lightened up. Like, I don't know how much he's lightened up, but that's what we had. He's
lightened up to the point where he's actually, supporting Democrats and everything. Because I guess that was a thing for him that he didn't ever do.
I think a lot of people forget that, even back in the 17th century, 18th century, we had noblemen who were wearing wigs, dresses almost. And I think that that's one of the things that people forget. They were manly men. They were men. But then again, like we were talking about earlier, we have with the whole wigs and stuff, right?
Yep.
And how
Well, in Europe, it was Europe, like England and stuff, that they were wearing a lot of the wigs.
But it wasn't not. It wasn't even. It's kind of disgusting actually. But it wasn't even. It wasn't all about fashion. It did become fashionable later on in years. You know, later on, pretty much. It just wasn't 100% fashionable when it happened because the main thing or the issues that people had back in the days was syphilis.
Ah.
So if you were to go back into time, man, check your history books, man. Actually, it won't be in the history books. It's disgusting. But a lot of the men, you
could just look at a lot of the older pictures and stuff.
A lot of the men had who had syphilis were going bald, had holes. You know, their skin was deteriorating because of the syphilis, even on their heads. So what they would do is have these wigs and cover up those balding or those lesions or whatever on their heads, and that's why they started wearing the wigs. It just became more fashionable later on in life. But either way, these guys back in the days, they were wearing dresses. Manly men.
Yeah, and like I said, makeup in the whole nine. It wasn't just robes or dresses or whatever. And like we said, Hello Jesus wore a dress.
Right. Well, yeah, he wore a robe, a garb
that had no pants to it, so therefore it was a dress-like garment.
Right.
And nobody thinks that Jesus wasn't manly. Like,
I mean, I don't really. I mean, again, this is based on conservative views. This is based on conservative views, and it is political. Because again, it's not just that. And again, too, who knows? Maybe at some point we're kind of like what's that word, man? When you're like hypnotized and you start doing things or whatever.
Brainwashed.
You're brainwashed, and the government is pretty much the media is brainwashing us. And 10 years down the road, you Bell and Kill are gonna be wearing dresses, painting their nails. Who knows? I have no idea. Either way, it could happen. Maybe it's that, But I do believe, again, that being able to do you, choose who you want to be, do what you want to do for your life, for yourself. It doesn't matter about anybody else. That's how I feel. Like, I don't care about you wearing a dress. I'd stare like, the hell? And then I'd keep it going. That's your life. You do whatever you want.
But then you wouldn't go the next step and assume things about the person.
No,
especially the fact that they're not manly.
I'd probably say that the dress is actually ugly or nice looking. I mean, that's pretty much what I would say. Like, it's either nice or it isn't. Now, obviously, you and I, we watch movies, we go places, and I'll see, a man or a woman, and I'll say, oh, that dress looks ugly. That dress looks nice. Oh, she got nice feet. Oh,
I don't like the feet comment.
His ass is, pretty nasty. Or look at those pants. Or look, you can see his bulge. Or, whatever it is. It doesn't matter for me. I'll just say whatever I see, and then that's pretty much it. And then I'll keep it moving. Other than that, it's not like, how could he? How could that happen? Oh, it's so disgusting. What about the women who, are wearing, I don't know, jeans and sneakers, ponytails or whatever, cut their hair short or something like that.
Now the rage is athleisure wear.
Would Candace Owen be upset because the woman don't look woman enough?
I guess.
I'm curious about that.
Well, it's funny when I looked up, because obviously, we do some searching online about things. And one of the things that I looked up was about what a traditional woman is, or at least was. And traditional woman has your children, stays at home to take care of them, cooks well, keeps the house very clean, wears very feminine clothing, and keeps herself made up, hair done, etc.
Barefoot and pregnant.
Has sex whenever the husband wants.
That's right.
Does more listening than talking. Keeps her opinions to herself.
That's right. Don't say anything.
Oh, how the times have changed.
Shh. Don't speak.
Like, at least for me, forget about the keeping herself made up part. Yeah. Especially working from home for 8 months. Come on now. Be serious.
It's just, it's there's valid points across the table, man. There's valid points across the table on both sides, on all sides. But for me, I think, again, I look back and I like, again, what is a man? Like a man is what you are, regardless of what you wear. A man is what you are. It doesn't matter. And for me, I'm thinking to myself, it's okay to rock the dress. It's fine to do that. But it's not okay to insult people and all that other shit. That's where it's not okay for me. And you remember, like I said, when it comes to politics and conservatives and stuff like that, a lot of conservatives, they're not too keen on, gay rights, gay marriages. They're not too keen on that. If anything, they don't like it. They don't want it. They don't feel like gay people should have the same rights as every other person. You can't get married. You can't have kids or whatever it is.
Shit, if that's the case, they don't believe women should have as many rights either.
Well, yeah, so for me, I'm thinking to myself, this is what you're dealing with as well. It goes beyond just the dress. It's a conservative view. I do understand that you probably miss some of these manly things, I guess, from what you saw, what you remember, what you think it should be back in the days, and that's probably why you are afraid of losing that, and that's why she said what she said, and a lot of people think the same way. But it's your choice. You do whatever it is that you want to do for yourself. It's your life. As long as you're not out there, killing someone, raping someone, stealing stuff from anyone, hurting someone physically, any of that stuff. If you're not doing anything bad to anyone else, it doesn't matter what you do. Mm-hmm. Like, do whatever it is that you want to do. It's your body. It's your life. I don't want anyone telling me I can't do this with my body. I can't wear this. I can't dress like this. I mean, maybe not naked. I don't think people should be walking around naked. Again, I'm programmed to think.
That's more of a hygiene thing.
Yeah, like, it's not even that. Like, I'm more programmed to, I just saw a comment from you, Bell, saying you guys should allow callers. We do allow callers. Maybe we should post that up on a thing.
You probably have to do it within the summary or whatever.
Yeah, on the side.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do allow callers. If someone wants to call, we have about 10 minutes anyway. You can give us a call at 646-396-0846. Again, it's 646-396-0846.
You should type it in the live chat. And while you're typing that, one thing that just kind of, I don't know, rings in the back of my head about this whole thing is that normally I don't see a lot of criticism about what guys wear, but there's always criticism about women. And I feel like it's always a little one-sided, oh, she shouldn't wear this, or she's this, and she's too old to wear that, and she's this and that, or, she's too fat, or she's too skinny, or whatever. There's always a million and one things criticizing. And sometimes even to the point where they're assuming a woman is, a slut or whatever because of how she's dressed. And it's almost like this is the alternative, version of that, which is, criticizing a man who's wearing a dress and then calling into question his manliness.
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy to me.
Again, this is, for me, like I said, man, it doesn't really matter to me. It doesn't really matter at all. If you're a good person, do whatever the hell you want to do. It's your life anyway. If you're not hurting anybody, it doesn't matter to me. If you want to dress like this, then you can dress like that. We got a caller.
That was quick.
You can. I'm gonna. What do you call that when you
screen it?
Vet the callers.
Yeah, vet the caller. Anyway, so I don't know. I also looked up what a traditional male role is, and it's funny that they say traditionally for men to be masculine, they are expected to display attributes such as strength, power, competitiveness, and less openly display emotion and affection, especially towards other men. Which again, this is very, I guess you could say, stereotypical, and not with what a lot of guys are today. Like, they're not like that. And anyway, you don't want a guy that's completely emotionless. Like, what the heck? It's like a statue. So I do think that the lines of what traditional is blurring. It's not the way it used to be. And that's actually a good thing. That's a good thing. Because obviously the role of a woman, or the traditional role of a woman, is definitely not that. Definitely not the way it was, let's say 50 years ago.
I'm having little technical difficulties over here. I'm trying to find the Bluetooth connection.
And I guess I'm stalling. So, something else. Well, I might as well read some of these other live chat comments. Tanya also mentioned about, if you look biblically, they wore garb that was similar to dresses. Yeah, just like Jesus and Moses. From Sierra, that's exactly what Titi Henia was just saying about, again, men in, olden times wearing dresses and other, I guess you could say, so-called feminine garment. Also, another comment from you, Belle. I don't mind and I don't care what people do. I care about how the media wants to drain. Oh, I think he meant to drill things into people. The media actually does it for the wrong reason, to drive attention and to generate funds. Well. Oh, we got another live comment real quick. It just came in. From Boris. What's up, Boris? We are in the generation where the original idea of men is backwards and reverse. Women are seeking something different, hence men will try their best to fill that role.
We're gonna try this again with this caller.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I am good. Yourself?
Pretty good. What's going on?
What would you like to share? I know you called in. We got your number, so that way, that's why we called you back.
Yeah. So my issue is not actually with the LGBT community or nothing like that. My issue is with basically the media.
The media. Okay.
Yeah. That's my issue.
You think the media? You think the media is trying to push?
That's my issue. That's my in cartoons and everything else across the board, and they doing it for a purpose of just, they don't really care. In my opinion, they don't really care. They just know what is in right now, what is drawing people, to generate more money. They don't really care. They just really care about what's in, what's going on right now. And the big thing is LGBT and everything like that. That's my issue. Is with the media. They don't let even the local channels, and that goes across the board with female, male. Now it's a little bit raunchier. The local channels, even music is getting a little bit out of control. Like Cardi B with the WAP.
Oh, that's what I'm trying. Or whatever, it was crazy.
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying. So let me give an idea, right? So the Christmas song, right, is getting cold outside, right? They banned it because some of the wording was a little bit off. But then again, they are playing WAP. That's one thing, right? Now, when it comes to the thing of the Vogue issue, with Harry Styles wearing a dress, people got to understand he's getting paid for this. It's fashion, right? But kids, they don't see it like that. And my question is, what are the kids doing? Are they following what they really feel inside? Or are they going to start trying things just to try because they think it's cool and it's in? You understand? That's where people need to start separating things. Because Hollywood is known for that. Hollywood is known for, brainwashing people and letting them think everything's okay because they like to experiment a lot in Hollywood. That's my issue. It's the media. It's not really, if you're gay or straight, I do not care what you do. We all got to still pay taxes. And everybody got to live their life. My issue is the way they advertise and the way they try to force things on people.
Okay. That's actually a lot of personal feelings, thoughts, and ideas that many agree with. But let's not forget the back in the days in the 90s when you had, a group called Two Live Crew who was, one of their favorite songs was, what was it? Pop That Coochie? Yeah. Pop That Coochie. Man, that was crazy. So again, thank you for calling in, you Bell. That's, obviously a lot of people have the same sentiments, and the media does have a good hold, like a grasp on what we see, especially nowadays. It's not like before, but it's so many things so many outlets, like I said, and we have no idea what our what our kids are actually seeing. We have to really pay attention to everything, every angle. Is like we have to be more, conscious about what our kids are watching and so on and so forth. So, for me, again, the media is a very big issue. Are they 100% at fault? Are they, 100% the culprits? I don't really think that they are. But, this kind of stuff hasn't been, this kind of stuff just, didn't start now. It's been happening a long time. So imagine our parents who are, in their 60s, 70s, who grew up with Elvis Presley and him gyrating his hips and people freaking out because it was a sexual move.
Oh, about Elvis?
About Elvis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or even, is it Desi? Lucy and Desi, right?
Oh, yeah.
How they had to sleep in separate beds on TV because, it was
taboo.
It was taboo, exactly.
Forget about the fact that he was Hispanic and on a national television show. Forget that part. But yeah, that was a big thing too. They couldn't even sleep in the same bed.
Yeah, so again, I don't know. Like all this has been happening for many, many years. It's been happening for many years.
But to me, this is what pushes us forward as a society. Things are never going to just stay always the same way. A person or people push things a little bit different. And then it's either you choose to accept it or you don't.
Right.
But times change. It's not, what is now wasn't back 50 years ago, nor was it definitely not 100 years ago.
Changed tremendously.
So it's something that we have to kind of adjust to.
Right.
Especially us being in the middle generation where we're not that old, but we're not that young either.
Either way, man, you are who you are. You do what you want to do. We're all influenced by somebody or by others. Everything that we do in our life is influenced by someone, people, something. It really depends on how far you go with it. I won't complain. You are who you are. Your life is your life as long as you're not killing, hurting anyone or something like that. It doesn't really matter to me. Everyone, if you're human, you're human. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter your ethnicity, nothing. Your gender, doesn't matter. If you're an asshole, I don't care. Woman or man,
Well, you care about the person being an asshole, but you don't care about the other stuff.
If you're an asshole, you're an asshole. Doesn't matter about anything else. If you're nice, you're nice. Doesn't matter, it doesn't matter about anything else. I mean, that's pretty much how I see it. Again, it's just the way we grow up and how we view things in life. Not everyone is going to agree with, what everyone does.
Address the last comments that we got on the live chat, and then we're going to be ending off soon.
Which is, okay, so Boris, we're in a generation where the original idea of men is backwards and reverse. Women are seeking something different, hence men will try their best to fill that role. Media, what a lame excuse. Woo, coming in strong. It's what sells. I mean, it's true. Media only promotes what will return a profit. And they did that with Kaepernick, all right, with him kneeling, Nike.
Yep.
Vogue did that, has done it with Harry Styles in his dress. I mean, I don't know how many. I mean, they may get a lot of,
but
readers.
Other magazines like Rolling Stones has had.
Oh, they've been doing that for like the longest.
Exactly. I guess, again, the problem is that this is a women's magazine, and that's what is making it such a more noticeable, I guess.
And Boris says it's the new generation has become open to ideas. And I think that's what it is. As we move on, move forward in life, you have the younger generation who are more open to everything. And
because some of them think that we really screwed things up.
And this is where the conservatives, are bothered because they don't want to have it this way. They want it to be like the old. They want it to go back to the Marlboro Man. That's pretty much what it is. And again, I don't want it to go back to the Marlboro Man because that Marlboro Man, whatever, you're having a little difficulty saying that, Marlboro. The MB guy, those who, smoke cigarettes because, the Marlboro Man looked pretty damn good, they probably died, from cancer.
Uh-huh.
So, for me, I'm all right. I don't want to go back to those days. I don't want to go back to the days where smoking in hospitals was fine.
Oh my God.
On airplanes. No, I don't want to go back to those days. Smoking was cool. You know what I mean?
They didn't actually
smoking
think it
was
did
cool back in
anything
the
bad.
days. No way, man. He goes on and say, let me see, all the geeks that were made fun of grew up and have become successful. Yeah, I mean, for the most part. Thanks for a shout out. Stop retracting statements, Boris, unless you said something bad. Either way, thanks for joining us, ladies and gents. Really appreciate it. Again, for those who are listening to us on a podcast, you won't really see the images or the videos, even though for this one we didn't put up any videos. But check us out on YouTube every other Sunday, 7 o'clock Eastern time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe. Subscribe below. Have your friends subscribe. Again, these
share us with other people.
These are conversations about pretty much anything and everything. It doesn't matter. For me, it doesn't matter. I don't really care. I'll talk about anything. Taboo. Don't give a shit. Don't care.
Taboo what?
But yeah, give a shout out to us. Tell your friends. Have them come up to Facebook. Like
What?
us. Subscribe.
Facebook.
I mean, not Facebook.
That is
YouTube. So old, right?
So
We
2000.
don't even have a Facebook page for
Good Talks.
for
Nope.
Good Talks. I don't really care about that actually. But yeah, so subscribe. Have them come to YouTube. I was gonna say it again, and visit us on our Instagram page. It's Good Talks _ NYC, and that's pretty much it. So thank you for listening, and we're out.
Good Talks.